Election Commission will come to order. Please rise for the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Guess there's no visitors here. Approval of minutes, dates and location for 22.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Probably moved in second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We gotta do the election of officers, Tom.
Oh, I forgot about
It's all right.
it. All right, we'll have that next. Go ahead, David.
You wanna wait till Rick comes or do it now?
Doesn't matter to me. We'll wait.
Maybe Rick ain't coming?
He's supposed to be here. He said, start without him. He'll be here in a little bit. We could jump back to it. This might be him coming now, maybe. No.
Yeah, we'll jump back to it. Approval of the minutes for November 12th.
Did we do that?
The minutes, I think did we do the
already
minutes?
did that.
We did the minutes. How about the meeting dates?
We did do that, did we?
No, I think you did the minutes.
Oh,
So the meeting date, second Friday of the month, other than in November. That's a Thursday. It would be on Thursday, November 9th, as opposed to the 10th because of the holiday. Do you have a list of the meeting dates in your folder?
yeah.
What's listed as the location date?
That's what we were gonna talk about. Yeah. So it'll be January 14th, February 11th, March 11th, April 8th, May 13th, June 10th, July 8th, August 12th, September 9th, October 14th, November 10th, and December 9th. They're all a second Friday other than November, which is a Thursday because of the holiday. And the location we talked about, do we want to move it to the office or do we want to keep it here at the Environmental Education Center? What were our thoughts on the location wise?
I'd
Your
rather,
boss, Tom.
I'd rather have it at the office, but if you guys want it here, that's
I'll
all.
second it. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I don't.
Any
care either
objections
way.
to having the meetings at the office, Rick?
No objection.
Okay, so then the location would be at the
Morning, Rick.
Mock Chunkley Park office.
We need
And
a
the
motion
meeting
for
times
that.
would be 10 a.m.
Need a motion for that, do you think?
Yeah, to approve the times and
So moved.
and the dates.
Need a second.
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 Properly moved in second. Any questions? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Back to the office.
All right.
So now we'll move back to
The officers. All right.
election officers.
All right, I'll open the floor for the election of the 2022 officers for the year, calendar year. Open the floor for nominations of, we'll start with chairman. Do I have any nominations for the chairman?
I'll nominate Tom.
Second.
Okay. So that nomination was motion made by Earl, right?
Yeah.
Seconded by either Rick or Bob. It was pretty much a tie.
Both of us. It's unanimous.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
We'll move to the vice chair.
I'll nominate Earl.
I have a nomination for Earl Henniger for
Second.
vice chair. Seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
And then we'll move to Secretary? Any nomination for the secretary?
I'll nominate Rick.
I'll
Second.
second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right. All right, Mr. Wildonner.
All right, I guess we can move on.
Mm-hmm.
Vouchers.
Vouchers and purchase requisitions for the month of November. You'll have it there totaling $38,394.22. Much of which was payroll and fringe benefits.
What's mechanical service company?
That was the generator. They had to come in and service and repair our generators, both at the office. We were having issues, and also at the extension office. That goes back a while, Earl.
Okay. Yeah, I remember there was an issue.
Yeah. So for some reason, we just got billed now.
And pending any other questions, I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Properly moved in second. Any questions? All in favor? Aye.
Commissioner?
I guess, how's Light at Lakes going?
Good. I was going to give an
Okay,
update on
so
that.
don't worry. Do we have Camp Store on the agenda?
I don't have that on the agenda
Okay.
yet, no.
Any status on moving ahead with that and putting it out for bid? Have we been talking to Ellie or anything about getting that out?
I haven't, no. I was under the impression that the county was already planning on that.
Yeah, there. I'll go ahead and after the holiday, I'll hit her up then on that. Because I
Yeah.
know it's just kind of, we were waiting to get through the holidays. But
Yeah.
I didn't know if there was any other push on that.
But that is the
The intent, right?
The intent.
Yeah, right. Yeah, unless there's some reservations now, but I think we're at the point where we have to put it back out. If not, simply just offer. it.
yeah. This is the last year on it. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I'll follow up on that one. You're gonna hit on public address system, right? We know the status of that one.
PA system.
Yeah.
I don't know what the status of that is. We haven't gotten it yet.
Right.
I
so
know
that-
it was
so that's the
approved.
status. You know,
Yeah.
maybe December. That's the public address system we use the safety grant
Yeah.
for, just like the boat
boat.
loader.
And the boats, they have it away in storage for us.
Yeah.
The motor is the hang up, so, and really, it's a console steering, so that got to get hooked up and connected to the motor, so they're waiting on the motor. But they do have it at the marina, put away in storage with our name on it.
Blue Ridge Cable, if they haven't contacted you, they did want to be contacted when you do any the memorial bench installation.
Okay.
When the guys do that, Alyssa just said if she could get a courtesy call to come out and
Sure.
when a bench is installed, that would be great. How about the Canic property? Do you have that, or do you want me to
That's-
mention that?
Nope, that's going to be next.
Okay,
We'll-
then we're good. That's
so we'll
it.
lead up to that.
Yep.
I have a question on the boat.
Yeah.
What motor are you waiting on? A Mercury?
That I don't know of what model, what brand it is.
That's what I was just gonna
Yeah.
ask. Can't you go to an alternate like a Yamaha or a Suzuki or is any other brand available?
I guess it depends on the dealer and who they deal with, what manufacturer. Sealy's Marina, I believe, is the marina that we're dealing with.
Where are they out of
I
there?
think it's Milton, somewhere out by Milton.
Are any of the motors made in the United States? Mercury is, I believe, isn't it?
Yeah, Wisconsin or something like that, Mercury's.
Yeah.
So that's a purchasing question.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. I mean, and it's already contracted, so,
Yeah,
you
right.
know, right.
Paid for,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, David, go with that subdivision.
All right, the proposed subdivision along Lynch Trail I have as the next item on the agenda. The subdivision that we're referring to here is across Lynch Trail. It would be on the north side of Lynch Trail, across from Park Property. The Planning Commission review that I have here, and I'll leave it here for the after the meeting if anybody wants to take a look at it. And Commissioner requested that I place this on the agenda for discussion. Proposed are 4 lots, roughly 3 acres in size, and the Planning Commission's review, they raise a lot of concerns over the proposed on-site, sewage disposal. And from what I understand, in reading the Jim Thorpe Planning Commission meeting minutes, is that I guess the developer, the one who's subdividing it, for whatever reason, can't connect to the sewer main,
To the low pressure
to the low pressure sewer main system. I'm not sure exactly why. I was told that it's too small, so he was seeking a variance to have on-site sewage disposal. And the reason he would need a variance is because, as the Planning Commission points out in their review, the plan as submitted, it does not conform to the zoning standards of Jim Thorpe Borough zoning ordinance, specifically zoning section 500-21. Requires dwelling units with on-site disposal must be built at least a half a mile away from Mock Chunk Lake, Mock Chunk Creek, or any other stream or water course to prevent pollution of the Mock Chunk watershed. The proposed subdivision lots are within the 1/2 mile buffer.
They're about 0.17 miles, so less than 2/10 of a mile. Those particular 4 lots are right there. I know that Mr. Canick's representatives were at the Borough Workshop meeting, I think it was last week, I guess to discuss it first with planning, and then I guess they'll probably seek some type of zoning variance or an overlay or something, or at least request it. The individuals I spoke on planning were not receptive to any modification, but again, it would go to zoning eventually for their.
I guess the borough has the last word.
That's right, and the county only makes a recommendation, but, we do have an equity in here, the preservation of water quality, recreation, fishing. Jim Thorpe, it's about water quality, right? For us, it's about recreational activities, swimming, fishing, and stuff like that. So, where the Board of Commissioners hasn't taken a formal stance, I would think we'd try to stay neutral. At some point, though, we may need to take a position on this, because it does impact, the quality of life activity here that the county's responsible for. And my position would be, if I were sitting where you guys were sitting, I would have a position. I think it's only appropriate as an advisory commission that you're providing that type of counsel. Is it something we really should be concerned about or not? And I'll leave it at that.
Well, my position is, I haven't had a lot of time to think about it. I find it hard to believe that Jim Thorpe Borough would construct a sewer line into the park without allocating for future development, knowing the whole left side of Lynch Trail's primed for development. Why would they put a sewer line up there that doesn't have the capacity to add on to? Find it hard to believe.
Well, that's what I said to David on the phone yesterday. I said, why, I can't understand why the hell they didn't tell him to hook on the sewer line.
Right,
But he come back and told me the line's too small.
I don't believe it.
I don't
That's
know.
what I understand. That's what I was
That's what
told.
they're saying.
Yeah.
I don't know the technical reasons why
Yeah,
it can't
right.
handle
I
it.
wonder
but-
where they'd hook on, they're gonna build a bar garage down there right
Yeah,
there,
that's gonna hook on.
right before you go up to Flaggy. Where's that gonna go?
Yeah.
Here's the agreement back in 2002 between the county and the borough of Jim Thorpe, and that was for the sewer extension for the line, which, the borough owns. There's no language in there that requires somebody to connect, but there is language in there where they talk about, planning for future, future development, future connections, so
But I think
anticipating future connections.
I think there is an ordinance somewhere that says if you build and the sewer line is within reason, you gotta hook on.
Right, I think it's 150 feet.
I don't know what it is.
But being that the lake is here, it would behoove the borough to have any development hook onto the sewer. I
Or
mean,
not to allow development.
Well,
I mean, that's the other option, right? You either have them hook on or you don't allow them to develop within half mile of the water source, and that's what they're saying.
well, geez, I mean,
Where they put in a pump out tank,
well.
where it's not a septic, so you know, you have to pump it. I know they do that at
don't
some
allow holding
places.
tanks for permanent though, Bob.
Yeah,
You know, temporary, yes, but not a permanent solution. I mean,
And who would that be, Earl? Is that DEP, Chapter 73?
DEP, I just find it hard to believe that that line can't accommodate more development. But I know you need an acre to put an on-lot sewer system. He has 3 acres, I think, is the smallest lot of the 4. I mean, and I know in the DEP, you need to be 100 feet from any well or public water supply or stream in their regulations for on-lot sewerage. I mean, I don't know, I hate to see a fight come on, where, I don't know, the guy just bought that property and now we're telling him he can't, or not telling him, but, I mean, it's like closing the door after the horse got out, you know?
Yeah, but he should have checked that before he
Yeah,
bought.
you should have, you're right, Tom.
Yeah.
But
Because
I mean, the borough, it would behoove the borough to either extend that sewer, it's not that far. It's right on the shoulder of the road there.
In reading the minutes from the Jim Thorpe Planning Commission, it seems to me, by reading it, that their position is, they seem to be going along with the County Planning Commission, if I'm reading it correctly. I think they were given till March 31st of next year to address the County Planning Commission's concerns.
I don't, I'm all for protecting the lake. I say they should hook onto the borough sewer, if at all feasible.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like the option right now, right? So, if you go under the planning assumption that it's gonna be a septic on-site system, does it pose a threat to the activities of Mock Chunk Lake Park? Again?
And the water supply, I think, was the other
Yeah, and that's,
concern raised.
and to me, that's Jim Thorpe, the water supply. I drink Jim Thorpe water, but again, I'm on the other side of town, so it doesn't
Yeah.
matter, right, Tom?
Right.
We're good, but again, from a county, it's the recreational activities, right?
Yeah.
It's the swimming and the fishing primarily, and the kayaking and all that it provides, Could you eventually get into more of a Beltsville situation where you seem to be closed more often than you're open, because
yeah.
there is leakage and stuff like that, because you have septic system collapses. And it happens with a lot of these places now, they'll be bought or built as a residential home, and 2 or 3 years from now, they'll become a short-term rental.
Yep.
And you won't have 4 people in there, you'll have 40 people in there, because they'll be overlooking the beautiful lake. You know what I mean? There's all this, just the way things go today. These homes don't simply become residential homes. They end up, becoming financial
Condos, yeah.
opportunities and stuff like that. And that's where you start taxing the systems and overloading them. So again, it's something to stay on top of and to be thinking about, because it's going to be, I think, a pretty significant issue for the borough of Jim Thorpe. And likewise, your counsel and advice would always be welcome.
But the whole thing comes down to what the borough council says. That's the whole
It's
thing.
at the end of the day, it's the borough. Yeah,
It's the
I mean,
borough,
Yeah,
yeah.
and the county only makes a recommendation. Yeah.
Has the borough ever asked us for a recommendation?
I haven't heard from
Well, I
the
mean,
borough.
Not an official, only through the planning commission, which has been provided. And, the concern is the potential risk to Mock Chunk Lake Park and the creek.
And you said the county's position on it was?
We don't, the Board of Commissioners does not have a position.
An official
It's
position.
neutral, and that's what we prefer to stay, right, But again, just stay on top of it, and if there's
Yeah,
a need or a
it's-
desire
it's
to communicate.
We're aware of it,
Yeah.
and we'll watch it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
Yep, good.
Park operations.
All right, the Lights at the Lake update. First night there was a few little minor hiccups at the beginning with power supply, but I guess the archway wasn't lit up. They were plugged into where the field is. Main breaker was turned on, but they had to figure out once they plugged into the outlet, they had to turn the individual breaker on. But other than a few minor hiccups at the beginning, opening night, everything, I talked to Bernie, everything ran smoothly. Friday night, Saturday night, it went well. Other than people seem to arrive as soon as it gets dark. They're not waiting until 6 o'clock. So both Bernie and Mike did express to me the need to, for them to have volunteers there earlier in the event that they need to open up early if traffic's backing up. It did back up somewhat on Saturday night. Saturday night was the big night. They had, I think, 360 cars total. So I did relay the same to Adrian, and that she's planning on having, some people, maybe it's not all the volunteers, but at least, some there where they could start, collecting and scanning tickets and staging them in the beach parking lot until the other volunteers are set up and things are ready to go, just to kind of, alleviate that congestion on the highway. But I've seen videos on Facebook. I've seen a lot of, positive, comments about the display. A lot of people are very, very happy with it, very appreciative of it, having it, close to home. A lot of local residents taking advantage of it. Tom, I know you heard positive things about it. Rick, I talked to you. You heard some or saw some positive remarks. So things seem to be going.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Things seem to be going, really well. First night, opening night, I think they had roughly 150 combined between the prepaid and the ones that showed up and paid. Saturday was a 360 total, I believe. Sunday was a little bit slower. But they got the generators delivered. Started setup actually the week of opening night is when they started with the setup of the displays. They were actually putting some finishing touches on things. Friday when I was going through the park with Bernie and running him through everything, they were kind of putting the finishing touches on it. They didn't have the tunnel for whatever reason. They were missing parts for the one tunnel that they had proposed, but that's in place now. They put that up Tuesday, I believe. They were here, or Wednesday, I should say, and set up the tunnel. So, but yeah, a lot of good, positive reviews and remarks. And I think that's about it. 4 to 11's when I have the Rangers scheduled. Any questions?
Looks pretty neat from on top of the mountain.
Oh, does it?
Oh,
Has
yeah?
anybody here gone through it?
No, I
Have you
haven't.
gone through it?
I haven't. No, I've seen videos. People, will take videos as they're driving through. Now they have fire police at the main entrance. They have 2 fire police at the main entrance. They did secure a security company for the exit for whatever reason. I don't know, but they have KRE security at the exit. I have the information on the company here. Somewhere here. KRE Security, they're out of like the Hamburg area, I believe. They deal with, large scale events, provide traffic control for large scale events. So, they contracted with KRE Security for the exit. 2 fire police for the main entrance, but, other than that one time Saturday night, as people were arriving early, they've been, handling the traffic, pretty well. haven't had to deal with weather yet. You know, we'll cross that bridge. You know, if and when we come to it, it's calling for milder temperatures. I know the extended forecast was calling for milder temperatures. Hopefully, you know, it'll stay like that. Jack did mention about the wiring. You know, maybe ask them if they could pull the wiring, you know, away from the sides of the roads a little bit more, so they don't hit anything if they do have to go through plowing. So I did talk to Jeremy Barbosa yesterday about that, and he was going to send a crew out, you know, today to, you know, to address that, just to move the wires back a little bit.
And the campground road holding up pretty well?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
patched it a little bit. We had some leftover material.
Yeah.
From last season, there was a little bit of material left over, so it wasn't in bad shape, but you know, yeah, we touched it up a little
Yeah,
bit.
'cause
For,
you had a whole season of
Yeah.
traffic on it.
Yeah.
Good.
I do have the 2021 dam inspection report here. If anybody's interested in taking a look at it after the meeting, a lot of it is the same, you know, as in previous years. They talk about the worn path on the top of the dam from the bike traffic, and mainly it's people walking now going back and forth across the dam. Not concerned about it. They're just going to monitor it and repair it if necessary. They talk about the worn path, footpath through the emergency spillway. Same thing. They have it checked off as monitor and repair if necessary. The woody vegetation along the side of the emergency spillway, they do have that checked off as repair. You know, they plan on coming in at some point to remove all that brush that's grown in along the side of the emergency spillway. Which when they do it, it'll be nice because it'll provide a nice view of the lake. But just minor issues with vegetation, nothing major. They still are working on getting a company in to adjust the sluice gate, the primary closure. They don't feel it's seated properly, so they want to get somebody in to look at that to adjust the primary closure.
That was my question. What'd they say about the gate? I always worry about that gate.
Well, the gate's in good shape, you know, and the only thing that they said they need to get a company in because they're not sure if it's seated correctly, you know, so they want to make sure that it's seated correctly. That there's some leak, they suspect that there might be some leakage, you know, where the primary closure is. But as far as it working, yeah, you know, to my knowledge, we don't operate it.
No, did they operate it?
Well, they should, yeah.
Did they
I
operate
could
it?
ask that. Yeah, I could reach
You know,
out
there
to
was a couple times in there that they didn't operate it.
Sean Wheeler was the one who was there. It was inspected. The dam inspection was on September 30th. So I could reach out and pose that question to see if they did operate it. I believe the maintenance guys, when they come in, you know, they'll come in periodically to mow the top of the dam and the downstream face. I believe the maintenance guys are the ones that actually operate
Well,
it.
find that out
If they
can.
did it at an inspection. All right.
Yeah, they say they should
That's
be
important.
exercised annually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's important. God forbid anything happened and
That
it came
was
back that,
That was the best thing in the world when they took that off our shoulders.
Yeah. And they actually have to go down into the control tower to operate it now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I won't want to do it.
No, wow.
There's like a little seat that you sit on, and you know,
Wow.
there's like a hand crank.
like a submarine, huh?
Yeah. Any
I've never been down there. Yeah, I've never been down.
any questions on the dam inspection report? Like I said, I'll leave that here for review after the meeting if anybody wants to look at it.
Park maintenance.
Tree removal, that's progressing. The guys are taking down trees, you know, every day, every other day. You know, when they have the time, they're felling trees, the smaller ones that we could take care of. And at some point, we'll, you know, when we're finished up, whatever's left that our guys can't handle, we'll get some prices on getting the rest of them removed. There's some, pretty big ones that need to come down and in some pretty precarious locations. One's located right by one of our cabins, big oak tree. Pads are poured for the kayak racks, the 3 pads. The extra topsoil that we have there, the dirt, I think we're going to take that, and there's an area in the open field area that we have to fill in and reseed. So we'll use that up. But the pads are poured. 1 rack's assembled. We'll work on getting the other 2 assembled and then mount them to the concrete pads. But that's progressing nicely, so we'll have that done in plenty of time before mooring sales start. And we did make room for the boat. We talked about the boat didn't arrive yet, but they did have to move some stuff around and reorganize things in the old maintenance garage so that when it does come, we're ready to, put it in the garage. We have a place for it.
Does it come with a trailer?
Yeah. All the docks were pulled. We did get our tractor fixed, for the winter season. And we pulled all the docks out once we had that fixed. Other vehicles are ready to go for winter maintenance. Spreaders, they put the spreader on. Plows are ready. Benches, you had asked about the benches, Commissioner. Last I heard was late December. We could possibly have our benches delivered. So once we get the benches delivered, we'll be assembling them and then planning on installation, in the spring, prior to next season. And then I'll reach out to Blue Ridge then.
Have we heard anything from Mr. Zuber?
Yeah, very ecstatic on the one that the guys put down there at the creek.
Yes.
Yeah, the sitting area. No, matter of fact, I think he must have called me right after he got off it or something. And then I drove up there because I didn't know, and I saw it there, from the
So-
Flagstaff when I went up.
So that worked out.
Yeah, that worked
He's
out.
happy with that.
Oh, he was ecstatic. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
yeah.
I think I got a vote for the rest of my life.
All right, so
Right.
the wheel gets the
Right.
oil.
No, he did, and he was.
Yeah,
he
that's
he
good.
stayed on top of it.
Well,
Good for him.
he talks to everybody in Summit Hill on
Oh,
a regular.
does he?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah, everybody.
Security, not much under security. There's a couple boats out there on mooring yet. We've been calling and reminding people to have them removed. Because they need to be removed by December 1st. That's Fish and Boat Commission regulation. Now he does give some leniency for using it for hunting. So I know the one is using it for hunting the other side of the lake.
There's an orange boat left.
Yeah,
Is
that-
that the one?
No, the one at Bolt Launch J is the one that uses it for hunting. I
Oh,
believe.
okay.
Yeah.
What number?
I don't know. Yeah. But couple were put in storage. In fact we have 24 in storage. That's the most that we've had in a while.
So the one that's used for hunting, are we giving them a variance on that, or?
They're allowed. Scott gives them some leeway if they're using it for hunting purposes. Yeah, just to kind of be flexible for deer season. In other
Right.
words, the two weeks that deer season runs.
And for him, that's flexible.
I
Yeah.
know, that's big.
That's big as
Oh,
that.
I know.
And there's not many
I'm
that.
surprised.
I think there's one. There's usually
He's not a real flexible guy.
No.
no more than 2 or 3 that will actually hunt the other side of the lake and go over on a boat. But, we do have to get the ice condition signs out. The life rings are out. We put them out at the boat launches for the ice fishermen. But other than that, we didn't really have many security issues or concerns. I know the one night with the drive-through light display, somebody was getting out of their car and they weren't sure whether maybe the people were intoxicated. So something like that happens, we'll get a license plate number, description of the car, and see if maybe we can get the police there before they leave. But other than that, we haven't had really any security issues or concerns.
Is that it for security?
Yeah, but I have nothing under special activities, and then we don't have any correspondence.
Anybody have anything they wanna bring up before we adjourn?
Yes, I have one thing. The temporary road they put in at the bottom of Bugsy's to the power line. Is that on park property?
At the bottom of, yeah, on the left-hand side going up,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because I'm under the impression everything they do, they gotta restore back to natural. It would be nice if they would leave that in as,
The road,
yeah.
well, it is gonna be left in.
I heard they're taking all the material back out that they trucked in and.
I didn't hear
putting it
that.
back in. That's what the guy, the bulldozer guy told me that.
Really?
Up behind my home, they're working up there and,
I
he
could
said
call,
everything has to be put back just the way it was.
I could call Tim Jackson. That doesn't sound right to me.
No, it doesn't, but,
Yeah.
you know, you don't know.
Yeah, I'll reach out that his name's Tim Jackson, and he'll be able to get me an answer on
And
it.
that
But
would
I,
be handy for us as part
Well,
of the
that-
fire break
that's-
or whatever.
but I was under the impression it just, it stays.
Yeah, I don't know, Dave, I don't know, I'm not, I'm just saying what one of the equipment operators told me, it all comes back out,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know because they talked about with the Environmental Education Center here, anything that's damaged, they'll restore back to the original,
Right.
condition. But I'll check on it.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Move to adjourn.
Properly moved, and who's gonna second?